Why is that where you go with it?
If I'm gonna be fully naked, I'm gonna do something fucked. Oh.
Right. Ow, God. We good?
Phone on vibrate.
Phone on vibrate. Or off. Episode 50. Yeah.
15.
What? Yeah. Well, hello and Merry Christmas. This is You Say We Say episode 15. To my left is the very nude Stuart Hill. Wow.
I don't want to talk about it.
He lost his bet last week. We'll get into that in a sec. But to my right, for our holiday edition, one of the co-creators, all-time leading host getter of Jerry Sessions podcast, Michael Tampakis. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
What a pleasure.
You're our first in-house guest. How's it feel?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What is this?
This
a
is-
podcast? Is that how it said?
What do you think of your first time being on the show and Stu's naked?
I gotta say, it's completely normal to me. I'm used to seeing Stu naked. I've seen him naked more times than I've seen him clothed.
That's not even a lie either. When people are like, "Oh, that's a nice joke," but we go on a trip every year with,
Yeah.
and Stu's always the first one naked.
Yeah.
And if you weren't listening last week, we had Stu out of nowhere asked me a question during we're recording, and he breaks the show to ask, would I eat human flesh? And I said very vigorously no. So I made a poll, and the results are in. 24 people said no. One person said yes.
And that was me.
I have to believe that one person was Stu.
I feel like everybody was lying.
I don't know.
I think they were too scared to tell the truth.
And yet you're the one naked, not me.
Yeah.
And YouTube thanks you for it.
I'd like to point out that I side with Stu on this argument.
Yeah, thank you.
I would taste human flesh.
All right, so 26 votes are in. 2 said yeah. No, it's a lot less voting than the last poll we had. Last poll we were 100 people. I think a lot of people were scared.
Yeah, just like what is this right now that they're asking?
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to the Jerry Sessions, we're gonna play a little clip of what Toss does over there because it's very interesting what they do.
Yeah.
They drink a fifth of Sailor Jerry, sometimes more, right?
Sometimes with each passing episode, we get more of a tolerance for Sailor Jerry, so we've moved up to a liter.
Oh man.
I think in the next 6 months we're gonna move up to the handle of Sailor Jerry.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Just make sure I'm not a guest on one of those episodes.
And Stu and I have both guested on it, but they are definitely an inspiration for why we started ours. So
100%.
it only seemed right that one of them was our first host. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
here's a little clip of what the Jerry Sessions is all about. So there you go. I hope you go check it out. And this isn't the Jerry Sessions though, Tass. You know what this is? You know what this is all about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I've listened to it.
So let's get into it, Stu.
All right, first question comes from, I don't think Toss ever met this person, Steve Tampakis.
I don't think another
The name sounds familiar, but I can't place a face to it. Yeah.
his little bro.
Yep.
Affectionately known as Skin.
Yeah.
Skin, yeah.
I don't think we've ever said that on our show either. Yeah, for some reason we call him Skin.
Question is, what's your move if you find a wallet full of cash while out Christmas shopping? I'm gonna be honest. I'm a believer in karma, so I would probably think about turning it in, but I wouldn't. I'd most definitely probably take the money.
Wow.
And do some Christmas shopping with it.
Okay.
I might not sleep for a day or two, but it'd be okay.
You'd get over it.
Yeah.
We were just talking. You've been to jail before. That's not a big deal.
A bag of money's different, because
Yeah.
you don't know who the fuck that belongs to. A bag of money's scary.
But
Drug
that's
dealer,
where
drug
the movie
lord.
No Country for Old Men starts.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it's a wallet, though, yes. If it's a bag of money, no.
Yeah, that ID in there scares me. Toss, what do you want to go for?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I agree with Stu somewhat that karma and, Christmas, you're going to want to return it. But for me, obviously, I would take... he hasn't really specified how much money's in there. So,
That's what I was thinking also. Yeah.
well, let's just say there's a good portion. Let's say there's $1,000 in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that money and I'm going to give it to the people who need it most during the holidays.
There you go.
And that's the strippers. All their fatherless children need presents.
Wow.
So you just visit the Coliseum, they get money, you get entertainment.
It's
a no-brainer. Yeah, everybody wins.
Yeah,
except the guy who lost his wallet.
Exactly. Let's plug them for a second. If you're ever in the Detroit area, go visit the Coliseum. Best titties in town. Great prime rib as well. What I would do, I think I'd do a mix of what both of you are saying. I'd probably put it in the Salvation Army bucket. I'd probably put the money in there and leave the wallet where I found it and just run home.
So only one of us is going to hell, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's the strippers.
And it's been predetermined. Yes, they are. They're gone. I think the person that's going to hell is the person who asked this question. Someone from my work, Kevin Kolchicki, he always has an interesting question for us, and this time is no different. If your second cousin is an 8.5 or above, and you're drunk on eggnog, is it okay to fuck her at Christmas time? Wow. Let me just say, Kev, if your family's that hot, just make your own porn channel, because the incest porn thing, apparently, we've talked about that, it's booming. So if you're into that, go for it. But it's tricky because second cousin is it blood? Like, I don't know, it's not blood. I guess, I mean, if you're okay with the whole family stigma, get your dick wet. I mean, go for it. Use the nog as lube, apparently, I don't know. Take it, Stu.
You're fucked up. If cousin is in the sentence with fucking, it's an automatic no for me. I don't care if it's second cousin, third cousin. Cousin and fuck, it just does not sound good together. So it's a no for me, but back on the porn thing, that's a huge fetish for a lot of people.
It is, weirdly.
There's a lot of males out there that want to fuck somebody that they're related to for some crazy reason.
At the same time, I think you have to be honest and say you've seen one of your own cousins and been like, okay, they're attractive, but you don't act on it.
You don't. Nah.
You don't. You can't act on it. But you've had a cousin that you're like, you know what? If she ain't in my family, what do you think, Toss?
I don't have a single attractive cousin.
Oh, really? You're the one.
Yeah. But let's be kind of like when I first heard this question, and Kevin, you said, is the one who asked this?
Yeah.
All right. When it was first read to me, Nate said an 8.5 or above, and my initial sick mind went to age. That if your 8.5-year-old cousin,
or above.
right, or above, and I'm thinking, who came up with that number? That 8.5 makes it okay?
Anything less than 6 months after your 8th birthday is gross.
Yeah. And then I'm thinking, well, she might have on a really nice Christmas sweater. The music's just hitting, and the candlelight's hitting her little 8.5-year-old body.
No. Those puffy, budding breasts.
Oh my god. With the spiked eggnog.
Kevin, just ease up at Christmas time this year. I think that's our only advice for you. I think we have to keep it going with the drinking theme, though, Stu.
Yeah, this one comes from our buddy Andy.
From the Optimism Club.
Yup, shout out to him. Favorite drunken Christmas memory? This is a good question, because there's a whole ton of memories. But for me, there's one memory that will stick out for the rest of my life. This story's told at every Christmas. It starts off with my father and my mother super drunk, okay? They get really mad at each other. They get in a giant argument. My dad leaves. Okay.
Leaves the house?
Yes,
Okay.
leaves the house. Ends up going to Cosmos back in the day. And
Don't want to know what that is.
gets completely fucking hammered. Comes home, stumbling. Goes to my brother's room. Pulls out a dresser drawer, pulls his pants down, and starts shitting in it. And my brother wakes up to the sound of his dresser drawer cracking from the weight of my dad sitting in it. And wakes up and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And my dad seriously looks at him and goes, "What are you doing in the bathroom?" And my brother's like, "You're shitting in my fucking drawer." My dad stands up nonchalantly, picks out the drawer and throws it out the front door, and then acts like nothing happened. That's the best memory for me. My dad shitting in my brother's drawer.
It's weird because
I forgot to say, he tried flushing it.
that's the best part.
He's got manners. Like, I'm not gonna leave that in there. I'll flush it away.
It's so weird because Big Stu Senior, is like my second father almost. I've seen him almost as much as I've seen my own dad in the last, decade. To imagine him doing that
It's unreal.
is possibly the funniest image I've ever had in my head. But I'll let Toss try to erase that with what he's gonna say.
I think I'll stick with Stu's theme, and it involves my parents drunkenly. Our dad, every year, he gets drunk and he makes a Christmas ornament. We got like a Mr. Hanky one out of clay. He made a drinking and driving one where he took a beer can and a Hot Wheel car. And so these still exist, and it makes our tree look like white trash. But our mom bought this one year, this really eloquent angel. And she put it on top of the tree. And after a couple weeks it was up there, our dad got really drunk. And he got one of his old 1980s Playboys out. And he cut the breasts out of one of it, and he put it on the angel on top of the tree. And they got like this huge argument, and our mom's so short, she can't get it off. And she's yelling at him to take the breasts off the angel on top of the tree. And that always sticks out in my mind as a great drunken Christmas memory.
That's awesome.
And again, more parents that I've known for a long time. That's a funny image as well, but it's not as far reached as me imagining Stu's dad.
Yeah.
Like Toss's parents are
Awesome.
they're awesome, but you can definitely see that happen.
Exactly.
I'll stay with family. I had a couple options to go on this, but I'll stay with family. The day after Christmas every year since I was born, we always go up to my grandma's house up north in Michigan. If you're from out of town, we say up north when we go on vacation, even if it's down south. But we truly do go up north to her house, and she's very German, right off the boat. My dad was born in Germany, and she has a little bit of a liking for Jaeger. And sometimes she can drink too much of it. And it happens a lot more frequently now. So this was not even 5 years, I'd say 4 years ago. We've been trying to keep the liquor cabinet locked because she's just been getting out of control, and she was not having it. We were all opening gifts, and it was time. We go by age, so she's last, and we had a hard time keeping her seated and paying attention to presents being opened. And finally it comes to her turn, and we notice that she's not sitting there anymore, and we turn behind us and she's army crawling towards the liquor cabinet. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen on a Christmas day setting ever, because she's got the key and she's looking back at us hoping we won't notice her army crawling towards
That's
us.
funny.
So
Your ornament one got me thinking. Every year,
Yeah.
I do something that pisses my mom off really bad too.
Yeah.
I take one of my sister's tampons and I tie it to the tree and I put ketchup all over it. And it's there for like a week before she notices it, and then I'll get like a phone call.
Yeah.
You fucking dickhead! Don't do that anymore.
I've seen that every. Did you make a tampon out of one of her cigarettes or something once
Yeah.
too? You like took all the tobacco out of all her cigarettes and made them like into like opened, made them look like tampon. Yeah, that's what goes on in the Hill House. So, you mind if I do my segment here?
Go ahead, man.
Episode 15, I'm going to do my segment of ABCs of questions. We're on O. And speaking of German with my grandma, this is my question. Oh, Tannenbaum, why do you sound so angry in German and yet so sweet in English? Because if you hear Oh, Tannenbaum, which is Oh, Christmas tree, in German, it sounds like Hitler's giving a speech to you. And then you hear it in English and it's like, oh, Christmas tree, and you're like, wow, I'm in the mood for Christmas.
Yeah.
I encourage you to go listen to O Tannenbaum in German, because I hear it every year.
Sounds like something bad that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like a giant bomb.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
Tannenbaum!
what it makes me think of.
999! So if you have any thoughts on that, please send us your thoughts on O Tannenbaum. I'll probably post the song 5 times this week on our page. Have you ever heard O Tannenbaum?
I have, and it doesn't surprise me that Germans sound angry.
It's
And I don't think if they could sing anything, it would sound
It's the
angry.
ugliest language in history. It's ugly.
That might be the history behind it too.
Yeah. There he is. There's Tom.
I wonder what Jews think about Tannenbaum.
They probably think what Stu's saying. Here comes a bomb.
That's good.
They just hear "Oh Holocaust."
Yeah. Wow. Luckily Hanukkah's over.
Especially for those people in the Holocaust.
Yeah. They're not seeing their family. We'll move on to question 4, which is, I knew this is how this episode was going to go. No one was actually going to give us any real holiday questions. We get one from Ben Shaw saying, is it socially acceptable to use a candy cane as a dildo? What do you think on that, Taz?
Socially acceptable, I would say yes. There are serious benefits to it. Now, I'm assuming he means a bundle, because candy canes aren't exactly
just one.
thick.
If it's just one, she's the tightest woman ever.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine the smell after.
Yeah.
Like, no one's even taking into account that. That's probably lovely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just created a market of...
And it's gotta make it taste a little better too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peppermint taste to
Yeah,
it.
people
after.
put a lot weirder shit in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you're the one who sent me a video of an octopus in there.
Yeah, I
once.
did.
Yeah,
Actually, it was 6 squids. And they come out alive.
Yeah.
But I would say socially acceptable, no. But it's not socially acceptable because you're not going to do it at a party. But in a private setting, is it okay? Yeah, it's not going to kill you unless you suck it to that sharp point that everyone seems to do and you start jamming it up there.
Yeah.
It's safe. It's fine. If you want your candy canes to taste like fish after, go for it.
I put into consideration, is the candy cane wrapped or is it unwrapped? Because
it's also
if
good.
it's wrapped, I feel like it's gonna do a little bit of like cutting on the inside of the vagina.
Yeah, that plastic's
And
rough.
nobody really would want to do that.
But then you could eat it after.
You could, yeah. If it's unwrapped, I think it's acceptable. I don't think it's going to give a woman any pleasure whatsoever. It's skinnier than her pinky.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Toss
What about the
said,
hook end?
just stick that in your butt while you're doing
Yeah.
it.
Oh man, that could become like
There you go.
stick
You
it
can
all
walk around with that.
But like Toss said, it does have benefits.
Yeah.
It's a great smell after you use it, and it's going to make her taste nice also if you're
Yeah.
into that. But the one thing I was worried about is almost like what you said, when you suck it to the point, what if the vagina juices do
Suck
that
it to a
for
point.
it?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that could do some
Then you
damage.
marry her. If it comes out looking like that, you marry her.
I do think that it would give you no
She
pleasure.
could shove it all the way in and use the hook end as like a clit tickler.
Yeah.
Kind of a. We're getting way too
Yeah,
involved.
she was menstruating too. Just the idea of a bloody candy
Oh,
cane
man.
is really disturbing.
And then if it breaks too, because those things seem to break pretty easy.
Yeah,
I'll
you
drop
never
it,
get a full one.
I'll drop it off my like kitchen table onto a pillow, and it'll break into 13 pieces. So imagine if you're shoving that thing in your vagina.
I just can't imagine us talking about this while you're naked next to me.
Nah, that's socially acceptable.
Yeah.
There you
could
go.
probably get away with it in like a Sears or something.
Yeah.
So.
Especially Kmart. Kmart.
Yeah. You're right.
Well, thanks, Ben. Go ahead and enjoy your Christmas in whatever
You
way you
sick fuck.
want. Do you want to rant on something here?
Yeah, I'll do my segment. I'll do my rant. You guys can